Since day one of building my SaaS, I was told by so-called experts to start delegating as soon as possible. It sounded so nicely. You hire a person, you delegate, and focus on the important things, such as growth.
Nice.
But I still was afraid to do my first hire for a long time. At the beginning, I had an excuse. I had no money to pay a salary. I didn't have money to pay a salary for myself. I only had savings to pay my rent for a few months. How am I supposed to pay a salary for someone else? After a year, I could afford my first hire, but I still hesitated to do that. Because, no one can do your job better than you. Programmer? No way, they will commit bugs and ruin your product.
Now that's a lot of damage!
A support manager? Again, never. They will be too lazy to provide quality support to my clients. But eventually I started to hire. So enjoy this story of 4 different people who worked in my bootstrapped company. What worked extremely well and what pissed me off. Why one of them took $6,000 of US dollars and never returned it back. And why I will never, ever hire anyone again. Let's go straight to the persons. I have always been sharing my journey publicly. Being radically open and transparent gives its benefits. Some are obvious, such as traffic, sales, recognition, but some are not. Axel read one of my stories and reached me out. He said, "Hey Alex, I liked your story, I liked your vision, I like what you do, I want to be a part of it." I decided to hire him and ask to help me with the customer support. Dozens and dozens of fears and doubts were floating inside my mind. What if he doesn't understand the product? What if he is lazy and impolite? What if he will miss an important message? What if he will get scared? What if I will get scared? What if he doesn't understand anything? What if he doesn't understand everything? What if he doesn't understand everything and pretend he actually understands? I decided to onboard Axel as slowly as possible and see how he goes. The first thing I asked him to do is to go through the past live chat messages and see how I handled the common issues. Hang around, get some basic understanding of the workflow, of what's going on, get used to the vibe, and then I would start teaching him how to do the actual job. But the things went in a completely unexpected way. During the first day, Axel scanned the entire history of the previous conversations. He learned everything. He was learning so fast, like he was a machine, like a ChatGPT, like a goddamn Terminator. The next day he started providing customer support. Not just support, excellent support. He often did better than me, and I am the founder of the tool. Who could be better? He never stopped learning. Soon he realized that he would be much better if he knew the basics of web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. He learned all the tech. His work was at an extremely high level. If you want to know the numbers, that was 2020, I was paying him like $400 US per month. That's not much for such a quality work. I couldn't be happier with the guy. But unfortunately, 4 months later, his productivity started to decline fast. Why? Such a talented, young and ambitious man got just bored. I couldn't find a way how he can grow inside my company, so he just left. We are still friends and Axel is doing great at his own web design company now. The second person I hired was neither a success nor a failure. Meet Andre, the first developer in the team besides myself. Adding Andre was a risk, because developers are paid much higher than support managers. But I decided to give it a try. And honestly, Andre was doing okay. He was making features, they were working. Not great, but not bad. Just alright. And I always had to recheck his work, to test it, to give him some advice how to improve his work, and he felt that I'm not satisfied as his employer. So I had to constantly cheer him up by saying, "Hey, your work is great, you did an amazing job, but this little thing just had to be a little more precise." And I got tired of this. I was expecting a developer to do his job by himself. So one day I just came to his house and said, "Sorry bro, you are fired." I'm kind of satisfied. Andre contributed a huge part of the product, so it's okay, but it took so long and it took so much of my energy. At some point I just realized I have so much, I called it Andre time in my day, so it sucked. Controversial experience? Maybe. But the next one is definite. This girl took 6k of US dollars from my pocket and never returned it back. How come? Introducing Mia. Mia was recommended to me as a hard worker, as a responsible person, so I hired her on the position of the client support manager. I soon realized that not all the people on the earth can parse the entire history of conversations with clients and learn overnight. Mia was a slow thinker and she was draining all my attention. It took her so much time to understand the very basic concepts, but the worst part is I had to cheer her up. He was constantly whining, hey Alex, I'm so sorry, I am stupid, I can't understand this or that, and I had spent energy to cheer her up, to let her know that we are all different people, we learn in a different way and it's okay, take your time. And honestly, I was okay to spend extra time to make her understand this. If someone can't learn fast, it's okay, it's not a problem. But if someone is whining every time that she is not smart enough, that's a red flag. But I was okay with that for some reason. I thought things couldn't go any worse. A few weeks after Mia started working with me, she sent a picture of a bloody person in a hospital and called me on Sunday. She said she hit a girl on a street with her car, she's in a hospital and she urgently needs 3k to pay for doctor services and for lawyers. And I turned out to be the only person who she can ask money from. Honestly, I was shocked. We barely know each other. We live thousands miles away. Why should I send you 3k? 3k is a significant amount of money for me. But I still did that. I sent her 3000 immediately. Because you must be a good employer. A few days later she asked to send 3k more, which I did.
Are you stupid or something?
I thought she will just pay me back from her salary over time, but a few weeks later she returned back to her work. Unfortunately, Mia is still Mia, and she is a slow thinker, as I said. This is how I got in a trap. I hated working with her because she was draining all my energy, but I couldn't fire her because in this way she will never return my money back. I suffered a few more weeks, finally got some balls and fired her. Mia said that she will start sending me money soon, but it has been 2 years, I haven't got $1. Let's go to the last person in my list. So meet Yelisey. Unlike the previous persons, it's his real name. It's because he still works in Unicorn platform in my company. And hiring Yelisey was the best decision in my career as a maker. Yelisey started his career as a support manager. The same way as Axel, he learned everything almost instantly. And the same way as Axel, he was providing more than I was asking him for. He was writing articles, guides, he was improving his knowledge of web technology, and at some point he even started to teach other support managers, the new hires, how to do their job. He was like the chief support manager. And the same way Axel got bored, Yelisey got bored too. I saw that potential. I didn't want to lose such a talent again. So I approached Yelisey and said, hey, I see you're losing your motivation. I see you are getting bored of supporting clients. But there is also a product, right? And in product there are two ways of contributing, the code part, right, and the design part. Do you want to work with something of this? And he said, yes, why not? So I want to become a UI designer. I said, cool, okay, but you have to learn a lot. He did learn. He became a graphical designer and a UI UX designer just in a few months. I guided him, but not too much. I just sent a few links where he can find inspiration, and it worked. He actually turned out to be a natural. Okay, cool, I have a designer now. A few months later, he approached me and said, hey, I started to learn React.js. I want to be a programmer now. A few months later, he started to contribute real code to the main repository of Unicorn platform. And honestly, I was shocked. He figured it out almost by himself. How to build, how to deploy, how to code backends, frontends, and so far Yelisey contributed so much value to the product, including our latest feature, perhaps the most important feature in our history, the AI. The whole integration, he implemented it all by himself. This was the last person in my list. As you could see, hiring people is a pure random. It's a gambling game. You win in 50% of chances, but the rest 50% you suffer a lot. But the importance of playing this game, of hiring a right person, just cannot be ignored, because if you win, you benefit a lot. In my case, Ulysses contributed a tremendous amount of value to the product, and I respect that much. So much I even gave him a large percentage of the cash I got after the acquisition of my company. But overall, I personally hate hiring. Perhaps I got some kind of post-traumatic stressful disorder, but thanks God, I don't have to hire anymore because I am a part of the Mars X network. And we have people here who can do hiring and managing people much better than me. Thanks a lot for watching my video. It's weekend soon, so I wish you the best weekend in your life. See you in 7 days.